Hello, this video is designed to show you how to solve two-variable equation. It's going to be a multi-step two-variable equations. If you haven't looked already at the one-variable equations, I would recommend you start with that video first because I'm going to have some basic concepts in this one that you should understand from watching the last one. When we're solving two-variable equations, the first thing we need to do is simplify anything we can. What I mean by that is, if there are like terms, variables, like if we have x's on the same side of the equation, we can add those or subtract those. Also, if there are constants that are just hanging out, okay, we can add or subtract those together, combine those in some form or fashion. If there's something like the distributive property being done, we can do that. Okay, multiply the first term, multiply the second term, everything that's in the parentheses. That's what I mean by simplifying. After that, after we've simplified as much as we can, then we get the variables on the same side. So if we have variables on opposite sides of the equation, we need to get those together. So we need to move them using our opposite operations. After this, it works just like a one-variable equation. You have your variables together, then you just start undoing the operations that are around the variable. Our first one, number 1, we have 2x equals x plus 5. Well, the first thing I have to do, I don't have anything to simplify, but the first thing I have to do is I have to get the variables on the same side. The way I like to get the variables on the same side is I'll always take the smaller number over to the bigger number. What I mean by that is I have 2x and I have x, and they're on opposite sides of the equal sign. I always like to take the smaller number, that 1x, over to the left side, over to the 2x. We have to remember how to move things, okay? I don't want x on the right side of the equation anymore. I want it to be on the left side. Well, the only way that I can get it off of the right side is to subtract x, okay? So I can have x minus x, which would be 0. But remember our rules. If we do something to one side of an equation, we have to do it to the other side of the equation. So if I want to subtract x from the right, I'm going to have to subtract x from the left. So this is the statement I get. I get 2x minus x equals x minus x plus 5, where I've subtracted x from both sides. Then I know that 2x minus x is just x equals x minus x is 0 plus 5. Okay, so then I have x equals 0 plus 5, or 5. On our second one, we have 4 plus 5x equals 2x minus 8. Again, I have to get my x's on the same side. The way I like to do this is I like to take the smaller x over to the bigger x. Well, the way I do that is I have 4 plus 5x, and I want to get rid of the 2x on the right side. In order to do that, I have to subtract 2x. Okay, but what I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to both sides. So I can't just subtract 2x from the right side, I have to subtract 2x from the left side also. Okay, so I have 4 plus 5x minus 2x equals 2x minus 8. And all I've done in that step is I've subtracted 2x from both sides. Okay, now let's simplify what we have. We have 4 plus 5x minus 2x is 3x. 2x minus 2x is 0. And we have 4 plus 3x equals 0 minus 8. So there's nothing I can simplify on the left side, but on the right side I have some things I can do. So I just write down my left side. 0 minus 8 is a negative 8. Then I have 4 plus 3x equals negative 8. And this works just like the one variable equations in the previous video. So I have 4, it's a positive 4, we undo a positive 4 by subtracting 4. Plus 4, 3x equals negative 8. And then I subtracted 4 on the left, so I have to subtract 4 on the right. 4 minus 4 is 0, plus 3x equals negative 8 minus 4 is negative 12. Then we have 0 plus 3x, which is 3x, equals negative 12. In our next step, we have 3x, which is 3 times x. So to get rid of multiplication, we divide. 3x divided by 3 equals negative 12 divided by 3. Our 3 divided by 3 cancels out, and we are left with x equals negative 4. Our next equation starts to be a little bit more complicated. We have 6x plus 17 minus 5x equals negative 3x minus 17. On this equation, we have some things we can simplify before we start getting the variables on the same side. On the left side of the equation, I have 6x plus 17 minus 5x. So I have x's that I can combine on the same side. Well, I want to reorder it first using the commutative property. And all I have to do that is 6x and then switch the 17 and the minus 5x. The commutative property allows me to do this without changing the answer. Now what I can do is I can take 5x away from 6x and have x left, and then plus 17 equals negative 3x minus 17. Okay, well the next thing I need to do is I need to get my x's on the same side. And the way I always like to do it is I will take my smaller number and move it over to my bigger number. So if I'm wanting to move a negative 3x, what I need to do is add 3x to both sides. So on the left side I have x plus 3x plus 17 equals negative 3x plus 3x minus 17. Alright, so on the left side we just simplify it to 4x because x plus 3x is 4x. And then we have negative 3x plus 3x is 0. Okay, so we have 4x plus 17 equals equals 0 minus 17. So on the right side I can simplify some things. I can say that 4x plus 17 equals negative 17. Now I have a one variable equation that I can solve by undoing the operations around x. The first thing I have to undo is the plus 17. So I have 4x plus 17 minus 17 equals negative 17 minus 17. So we have 4x plus 0 equals a negative 34. Now all I have to do is simplify the left, and I have 4x plus 0 is 4x equals negative 34. Okay. Now I have 4x or 4 times x. In order to get rid of my multiplication, I divide both sides by 4. 1 times x is x equals negative 17 over 2. And I'm just going to leave that as a fraction.